I'm looking for a place that will collect, clip, bath, and return my dog, KN17727, cigarettes and tobacco, animals and birds bought or sold on commission. I want a dog that's going to collect and clean my bath, return my cigarette, and give tobacco to my animals and give my birds a commission. I'm looking for somebody to sell my dog, collect my clip, buy my animal, and straighten out my bird. I'm looking for a place to bathe my bird, buy my dog, collect my clip, sell me cigarettes, and commission my bath. I'm looking for a place that's going to collect my commission, sell my dog, burn my bird, and sell me to the cigarette. Going to bird my buy, collect my will, and bathe my commission. I'm looking for a place that's going to animal my soul, knit my return, bathe my foot, and collect my dog. Commission me to sell my animal to the bird to clip, and buy my bath, and return me back to the cigarette.
These are all protest songs now, come on. It's not British music, it's American music. Now, come on.
I think he always made exactly the work that he wanted to make at the time he wanted to make it. The audience came to Bob. And that's one of the things that makes him so unique in the history of American music, is the audience came to Bob Dylan.
I've never been that kind of performer that wants to be one of them, you know, like one of the crowd. I don't try to endear myself that way.
This is a young man who grew out of a need. He came here, he came to be as he is because things needed saying, and the young people were the ones who wanted to say them, and they wanted to say them in their own way. He somehow had an ear on his generation, and he has set a pace for many people, and is now, well, he's now continuing in the same way, and there are many others that are joining him. I don't have to tell you, you know him, he's yours, Bob Dylan.
Bob Dylan. Bob Dylan. Bob Dylan.
Bob Dylan.
Bob Dylan.
Bob Dylan, I think, absolutely influenced everything that came after him in pop music, or rock music, or folk music.
He was our idol.
Bob was our hero.
We listened to his album and it really gave us a buzz, and we played it constantly over and over and over again.
Though you might hear laughing, spinning, swinging madly across the sun, it's not aimed at anyone, it's just escaping on the run. And but for the sky, there are no fences facing.
Rock and roll used to be music of the body. He made it equally music of the mind.
Darkness at the break of noon, shadows even the silver spoon, the handmade blade, the child's balloon, eclipses both the sun and moon. To understand, you know too soon, there is no sense in trying.
I'd never showed any interest outside of in anything outside of the blues until maybe I heard Bob, and that sort of converted me.
As pointed threats they bluff with scorn, suicide remarks are torn from the fool's gold mouthpiece. The hollow horn plays wasted words, proves to warn that he not busy being born is busy dying.
I've loved him folk, I've loved him rock, I've loved him country, I've loved him gospel.
Temptation's page flies out the door. You follow, find yourself at war. Watch waterfalls of pity roar. You feel the moan, but unlike before, you discover that you just be one more person crying. So don't fear if you hear a foreign sound in your ear. It's all right, Ma. I'm only sighing. I won't be able to talk to you afterwards. I got nothing to say about these things I write. I mean, I just write them. I have nothing to say anything about them. I don't write them for any reason. There's no great message. I mean, if you know, you want to tell other people that, go ahead and tell them. But I'm not going to have to answer to it.
At a certain point, people seem to have a distorted, warped view of me. The spokesman of a generation, the conscience of this and that and the other. I mean, that I could not relate to. I just couldn't relate to it.
It's ironic, you know, that the way that people viewed you was just the polar opposite of the way you viewed yourself.
Isn't that something?
I know more about what you do, and you don't even have to ask me how or why or anything, just by looking, you know. Then you'll ever know about me, ever. I mean, I could tell you, you know, I'm not a folk singer and explain to you why, but you wouldn't really understand. All you could do, you could nod your head. You would nod your head.
I mean, I just about had it, though. I'd had it with the whole scene. Just being pressed and hammered and, you know, expected to answer questions is enough to make anybody sick, really.
Do you care about what you're saying?
How could I answer that if you got the nerve to ask me?
Well, then you go, how could
I mean, you got a lot of nerve asking me a question like that.
I have to ask
Do you ask the Beatles that?
I have to ask you that because you have the nerve to question whether I care.
I'm not questioning you because I don't expect any answer from you.
What do you think?
I have no opinion about that.
Well, why?
Because I haven't heard you sing, actually.
You've never heard me sing. And here you are sitting here and asking me all these questions.
Mr. Dillon, you seem very reluctant to talk about the fact that you're a popular entertainer, and you're a most popular entertainer.
Well, what do you want me to say?
Well, I don't understand why you,
well, what do you want me to say? What do you want me to say about it?
Well, you seem almost embarrassed to admit that you're to talk about.
Well, I'm not embarrassed. I mean, you know, what do you want exactly me to say? You want me to jump up and say hallelujah and crash the cameras and do something weird? Tell me. I'll go along with you if I can't go along with you. I'll find somebody to go along with you.
No, but I find it, you really have no idea as to why you, or no thoughts on why you're popular. That's what interests me on it.
I just haven't really struggled for that. I don't, it happened, you know? It happened like anything else happens.
I know that, and I accept, you don't see yourself as the voice of that generation. But some of your songs did stop people cold. And they saw them as anthems, and they saw them as protest songs.
So miserable.
Come on, it won't take long.
It won't take no, you just
They don't ask me. Those other two people don't ask me. Why do you?
Why shouldn't you give it? Why shouldn't you give it?
What do we come out to see it for?
Because they like me. They said...
We don't like you anymore.
You call me a bum.
That's all you want.
Well, may I have your autograph?
You call you a bum, you sign your autograph.
Call me a bum.
Come on, Bob.
Come on.
Now, you don't need my autograph. If you needed it, I'd give it to you.
So people would actually come to the house?
Mm-hmm.
And do what?
Want to discuss things with me, politics and philosophy.
I mean, what is your whole attitude to life? And when you meet somebody, what is your attitude towards them?
I don't like them.
You don't like
No.
I mean, if I come in here, what's your attitude towards me?
No, I haven't got an attitude towards you at all. Why should I have an attitude towards you? I don't even know you.
No, but I mean, and it'd be an attitude if you wanted to know me or didn't want to know me.
Well, why should I want to know you?
I might be worth knowing.
Why?
Huh?
Why? Tell me why. What good is it going to be for me to know you? Tell me. Name me one thing I'm going to gain.
Well, you might learn something from my attitude to life.
Well, what is your attitude to life?
You feel like an imposter when someone thinks you're something and you're not.
What was the image that people had of you, and what was the reality?
The image of me was certainly not a songwriter or a singer. It was more like some kind of a threat to society in some kind of way.
What was the toughest part for you personally?
It was like being in an Edgar Allan Poe story. You're just not that person everybody thinks you are, although they call you that all the time.
As you probably know, Rolling Stone magazine just named your song, Like a Rolling Stone, the #1 song of all time. 12 of your songs are in their list of the top 500. That must be good to have as part of your legacy.
Oh, maybe this week, but you know, on the lists, they change names, and you know, quite frequently. Really, I don't really pay much attention to that.
But it's a pat on the back, huh?
This week it is. But you know, who's to say how long that's going to last?
Well, it's lasted a long time for you. I mean, you're still out here doing these songs, you know, you're still on tour.
I do, but I don't take it for granted.